Ricky here, and you're watching Ricky Talk Shop. Working on our next segment for our Ultimate Les Paul Mod video series. So far, we've taken a look at our guitar. We did a light fret dress to it. We replaced the plastic nut with a bone nut. And we wound a new set of PAF replica pickups for it. Now we're ready to get our wiring harness put together. And what I've done is I took the original parts out of the guitar, and then I just placed a piece of cardboard on the face of the guitar, and I marked where the pots go on the guitar, so I can mount them on here, and I can do as much wiring as possible outside of the guitar. I've got my tone capacitors. In this case, these are Luxe, spelled L-U-X-E, Black Beauty capacitors. Got my switch mounted on here to make it easier to solder. You can go ahead and get started here with our bus wire. And we're going to use this to ground all four of the pots together. Go ahead and get the first one done. I'm just going to solder this right onto the side of the pots. Okay. And giving myself a little slack just in case my holes are a little off. I don't want to have wires in the guitar stretched tight. Solder that one. Gonna clip this little end that's sticking out. Come around to our next one. And this wire, it stays in place pretty well, as you can see. Makes it pretty easy to work with. And get our last one done. Again, leave a little bit of slack in there. Okay, and there's that step done. Pretty quick and easy. Now the next thing I'm going to do, you can see I've got these end tabs bent over on all four, and those will get soldered directly to the pot. Clean our tip. Go. We'll just take a look, make sure we got nice good You can see good, clean, shiny solder joints. Next, we'll wire our tone controls in. And you'll notice on my tone controls, I've got marked for my volume and my tones here. So my tone capacitors on this end, on the volume pots, I could either wire them to this outside lug or the center lug. If I go to the outside lug, that connects it directly to whatever pickup is selected on the switch. If I go to the center lug, it connects it through the pot. And what that does is the frequency that your pot operates at is determined by the value of the capacitor as well as the resistance that it sees. So if it's connected directly to the pickup, that's a fixed function. But if it's connected here, when it's all the way up, it's normal. It's connected directly to the outside lug. But as you roll the volume down, you increase that resistance and you change the frequency that your tone control works at. A lot of vintage 50s and early 60s guitars are wired this way. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Get those soldered in. We'll take a look, make sure we've got nice good solder joints all the way around. And then we'll clip off this extra lead on these. And there we have it. Now if you do want me to wire one of these for you, look me up on Facebook, Ricky Talk Shop on Facebook. Depending on what tone capacitors you want to go with, wiring harness like this, they start around $75 or $80. And they go up to around 200 bucks. This part is ready to go in our guitar. This is wired up, ready to go. Next thing to do is wire up our switch. And I've got my wire pre-cut to length. And I'm using all good vintage spec braided wire. And when you're working with this wire, the outside of the wire, it just pushes back. So you don't have to cut the insulation on the wire. That just pushes back, and then this cloth inside just pushes back to expose our wire. Really nice and easy to work with once you're used to it. Now for our switch, our longest wire, this will go to the output of the guitar. So this will come around and this will connect to our two posts over here. So we're just going to run that through, give it a little bend, clean our soldering tip. Hopefully I'm where you can see what I'm doing okay. And solder that into our switch. Okay. There's that wire. Now we come to our other side, and we have 3 prongs here. So we're going to pull our wire back. Now these two are both cut to the same length, our other 2 wires. And they go to the 2 outsides here. Get a little more wire coming out of that. Okay. Go ahead and solder that one. Get our other wire pulled back here. And turn this, hopefully you can see. Okay. And we'll go ahead and solder this one in. Okay, again, every step of the way, we're just checking to make sure we've got nice, clean, shiny solder joints all the way around. Now our center lug here is the ground. So what we do is we take this wire, and this pulls around, so they're all coming out the same way here. And we pull them all back. Now I've got a piece of just cloth braided wire here, and we're just going to pull that back, and just going to give this a couple of wraps around all 3 of these together. And now this might take a little extra heat to solder this. But we're going to solder making sure that we get soldered onto all 3 of our wires here. So everything is nice and grounded together, just like that. Now this wire, this will come up, and we'll cut that off about there. And again, just push back some of this wire insulation, and this will go to this this center lug, which is the ground for the switch. And we'll solder that in place. Alright, now we'll give this a final look over. You can give all the wires a little pull, make sure nothing comes undone. Everything's nice and neat, everything's grounded together. All good, shiny, clean solder joints. And there you have it. There is a wiring harness for a Les Paul in about 15 minutes. Doesn't take long. Our next part of our video, we'll get this all put into the guitar and wired up inside the guitar. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you next time.